Hello, children and parents. I'm excited to share with you our first story, The Adventures of Boots. But before I jump in, I'd like our friends in the story to introduce themselves. I am Uncle Poppy, your host and storyteller.
Do I have to say hi?
Oh, Grandpa, be nice.
They keep walking on my lawn.
Never mind him, children. Hello. Say, kids, this is Stanley Squirrel.
My name's Stephanie Swine.
I'm Tommy Tortoise. My name's Rory Rabbit.
Hey, this is Frankie here. Frankie Ferret.
I am the Packrat named Panzer.
Scotty Terrier here.
My name is Davy Drone, and I am delighted to meet you.
Yup.
I am Raj.
I don't know what else to say here. I'm Ollie.
Bonjour, little monkeys. I'm Dumont. My name's Kim Koala.
My name's Paula Peacock.
My name is Orville Owl.
I'm Oscar Octopus.
And last but not least, the kitten, Boots. Well, he doesn't say much. He's along for the ride. It is his adventure after all. Our story begins in a home, much like your own, just outside of the city. In this home lived Grandpa and Grandma Gray and their new kitten Boots. Grandpa Gray just finished his lunch and came out of the kitchen with his favorite thing, a giant glass of milk and a slice of chocolate cake to go with it. He asked his wife,
Grandma, have you seen Boots?
The kitten. He's right over by the living room window. I opened it a little so he can enjoy the smells from outside. So don't bother him.
Grandpa took his cake and milk into the living room to look outside his front window.
I won't bother him. I bet he's wondering what all the sounds are coming from the zoo next door. There, I see him. And I see you kids too out there. Hey, get off of my lawn!
Grandpa then sat down to give his cake his full attention. Grandma walked into the kitchen to see what kind of mess Grandpa had made just by getting his cake and milk. Boots did often wonder what the strange noises were coming from next door. Just now, however, he was watching with wide eyes as something furry was jumping from tree to tree. He had just lost spotting it when suddenly,
Say,
Boots jumped backwards about 3 feet.
boy, and I thought I was jumpy. Say, have you seen any nuts around?
Boots looked at the animal in complete surprise.
I'm a squirrel, silly. Stanley Squirrel, to be exact. So why are you in there when all the nuts are out here? Boy, I just love nuts. I keep plenty around, see, just in case of an emergency. You just never know. Now's the time to collect them. Say, why don't you help me find them? I'm sure there'll be enough for both of us.
Boots nodded, and together they worked the window open enough so Boots could get out.
Swell. Now let's go next door to the zoo. They've got all kinds of nuts over there.
Then they both ran towards a tall brick wall. Boots was proud to find he had no trouble jumping over. However, it was the landing part that Boots still needed to work on, because he landed with a splat and in some sloppy wet mud. And Stanley was nowhere in sight. He had a one-track mind when it came to nuts.
Well, isn't this special?
It's not very often that I have guests. You should have called first, though, sweetie. I'm completely unprepared for a social call because now it's time for my mud bath. It does wonders for my skin. No self-respecting pig would ever go without his daily mud bath, especially this time of season. Brings out the pink tones in my skin. The perfect complement to this spring's hottest trend-setting colors.
Boots moved his paws carefully out of the mud with a distressful expression on his face.
Oh, no need to get concerned, sweetie. I only get the best mud. Not like the other mud the other pigs get. Makes all the difference in exfoliation. One has to set himself above just any swine, you know. Not that I would want to spread any dirt around. Oh, I'm vicious, sweetie. Oh, stop listening to me.
Boots had already moved up along a plank that led to a nearby roof that helped shade the pig's pen. Suddenly, he became aware of a buzzing sound. He looked up at the roof and noticed a beehive, though he didn't know what it was. As he was looking, a bee landed on his nose and spoke.
Hello, you are too close to our hive, and you will have to go or we will have to sting you, and that wouldn't be delightful.
Just then, a small terrier dog that was running around and barking loudly came to an abrupt and furious halt below the wall Boots was standing on. At the same time, Boots heard a scurrying sound, and suddenly a ferret and Packrat were right next to him. The ferret began to yell at the dog.
Hey, what's the big deal, bro? One minute I'm taking a stroll through the zoo here, and then the next minute you're all up in my face.
The Packrat yells at the ferret.
Ah, there you going. You have trespassed into my nest and attempted to steal my hard work, my Schatzwunder. And in the process, you have brought this enemy straight to my doorstep. Now we are both, how do you say, on the lamb?
The drone bee announced to all of them.
We are getting very angry. Very angry indeed. You should leave right now.
Then the worker bees came out of the hive.
Yeah, we're all going to sting you.
The Packrat and ferret paused at the thought of being stung.
Yep, yes, that's right. If you don't quit your bickering, it's a sure thing.
But the terrier wasn't frightened of the threat.
Where are you laddies? There you are. You laddies need to get back to your pen. If you keep loitering around, then I'll do you a treat. I'll leap up there and I'll drag you back.
The yelling was the last straw for the bees, who then began to swarm around the ferret, Packrat, and dog. Boots had been slowly backing away from the whole argument, and as the bees attacked, he fell off of the wall, into another pen, and onto something smooth and rounded.
Hello there. You look like you're trying to get somewhere fast. I would help you, but I don't think I'll be going fast enough for you. If you slow down and don't go so fast, the bees don't seem to mind. They never bother me. But if you like, I'll carry you over to where my friend the elephant lives. He could take you so you could leave this place.
The tortoise began to move to the opposite end of his pen. Boots stayed on top of the tortoise and noticed a rabbit coming up to them. It ran around the tortoise, excitedly asking questions.
Hello, Sonny. Where you be going? How's your day? What's for lunch? Well, a sight like this is a scarce to see. A kitten riding a turtle right up to me. Well, who's this wee little fella?
Before the tortoise could answer, a long, grey, tube-like thing scooped up Boots and said,
Oh, the color on this kitten says his name is Boots. He must come from the house across the street, as I have not seen him here before. Greetings to you, my good friend. It would be wise for you to stay away from bees and dogs. They are not so happy to meet new people.
Standing near the elephant at a safe distance was a dung beetle who said,
Not all bugs are like these bees. They do not know how to think for themselves, always thinking of the hive. They are but a simple insect, not at all as capable as one single dung beetle.
Both the tortoise and the rabbit said goodbye to Boots.
Oh,
So long.
very well,
Goodbye.
Sonny. Goodbye.
See you later.
You will need to go next door to the orangutan cage, so he can point you in the right direction to your home. I can put you up on the tree limb that is near my pen, but you will have to find him in the trees. He is up high, but I must warn you, he is a bit strange.
There's but one thing worse than bees, and it's a monkey. There's simply nothing you can do with them. They are always hopeless. They dream of being something like us dung beetles, but they cannot. So they are nothing less than quite mad, you see.
The elephant carefully placed Boots on a limb with a long stretch of his trunk and said goodbye while the dung beetle continued to profess the superiority of a dung beetle to all the monkeys he has known. The elephant rolled his eyes and walked away, with the dung beetle following
Did
close
you know
behind,
thousands
talking
of
excitedly.
dung beetles served with Napoleon? We proudly followed him from the North Africa. Do you know how many monkeys served with Napoleon? 0.
Boots walked along the tree limb, but he was not used to using his claws to hang on so tightly. He went for a little ways, and then sat for a moment, wondering where he could find the orangutan. Suddenly, an upside-down face appeared just before Boots.
Whoa there! Hey! You better watch what you're doing, kid. Though, I can tell you're not used to being in trees. Watch what I can do.
With that, the orangutan picked up Boots and started tossing him about, catching him with his feet and hands as he showed Boots how he could juggle and move about the trees at the same time. Boots became so afraid that without meaning to, he used his claws to dig into the orangutan's arm.
Hey!
The orangutan threw Boots off with all his might,
Yeah.
and Boots found himself airborne. He closed his eyes. Although he did not know it, Boots was thrown across the orangutan's pen and heading for the trees in the next pen. Cats do not enjoy flying through the air. He kept his eyes shut. When Boots stopped, he did not feel the crash he was expecting into the trees or the hard ground from falling. He was in a soft, fuzzy embrace of a koala that had lazily caught him in the midst of a bite of eucalyptus leaves.
Hello, mate. What's the rush? I never thought I'd see the day a pig would fly, but I never counted on seeing a cat fly instead.
A peacock at the base of the eucalyptus chimed in.
That's for sure.
Just minding my business when this little guy came flying through the air.
I haven't heard of a flying cat as a new addition to the zoo. Oh, darling, well, I'm sure Stanley will get you to a safe place. Eucalyptus? Ugh. I hate having to go through this tree to get to my favorite tree. Good thing for you, though. I thought I lost you. You're never going to find any nuts over here. Oh, hey, Koala. Nice catch. I better get him home before it gets too much later. It's getting dark, you know. Stranger things come out at night.
The koala nodded and let Boots crawl to a nearby limb. He said,
Good day, mate.
nodded his head to Boots, and continued his munching.
We need to go through the aquarium to get to the outside of the zoo. It's tricky though. You have to go through the doors when the people open them without them seeing you. If they see you, it just becomes a big mess with all this screaming and running around. But let's get out of this tree first. So follow me.
Boots followed Stanley through the tree, and just when they were about to jump out of the tree, suddenly Stanley was gone. Nowhere to be found. Again.
Who are you? Are you looking for someone? It's awfully late.
Boots then realized why Stanley had taken off. In front of him was an owl, much bigger than Boots, with wide yellow eyes that never blinked. It was dark after all. This was when the owl would begin his hunting. Boots did not wait around to see what would happen next. He jumped down from the tree and ran through an open door into a building which just happened to be the aquarium. Some visitors were just leaving, so Boots was lucky. Now he was in. The zoo was closing, but Boots did not know which door he should take to leave the zoo. He stopped in front of a window, which was actually a large tank, and he noticed a strange creature with many arms and an enormous head.
Well, I'm not used to seeing anybody but Stanley here. You must be with him. He was just here. If you're looking for him, he already left through that door.
The octopus lifted one of his many arms and languidly pointed to the exit along a short corridor. A group of visitors were headed towards that door.
Now's your chance. I would advise you to take it unless you'd like to keep me company for the evening. That would be cool.
Boots made a run for it. He made it through the door, but a little girl squealed with delight at seeing such a cute little kitten. Boots stopped at a bush and found that Stanley was right next to him.
Hey, say there. Sorry I took off like that, but owls just freaked me out. Their eyes and their, no, never mind. Let's go. Your house is right over there.
Boots was thinking about the big glass of milk Grandpa was drinking earlier that day and realized he was hungry. Before long, Stanley and Boots were saying goodbye at the window where Boots had first left to follow Stanley. Stanley said goodbye but added,
It was great hanging out with you, but you sure aren't very good at finding nuts. That's a shame. But we can still be good friends, you know.
And with that, the squirrel went springing into the trees. Boots went into the kitchen where Grandpa was helping himself to another piece of cake and went straight to his bowl. He decided his next adventure would be to follow Grandpa into the living room and see if he could get some leftover milk from his glass. He later curled up in Grandpa's lap and did not go near the living room window for the rest of the week. The end.